Hey y'all, Monk Joseph here with the Broken Buddha. Alright, so I actually wasn't going to do this today, and I don't know, I'm going to consider wrapping up the Religious Antithesis series after this, so I kind of just want to get it out of the way. There might be some later, but that's not the point. If I decide to do one on like Sufism, Judaism, or Islam, I may, but my studies have really got me wrapped up right now, and it's just not a priority for me right now. Beyond that, no deeply orthodox Jewish person is ever going to speak in depth with anybody. It's just not going to happen. They don't do that. You'd have to immerse yourself fully into Islam to really get it and to be able to see if there's an antithesis there. I mean, they're pretty strong. They're pretty strong. Faith from my experience. Everybody's going to have their losers faking it till not even trying to make it. So this ain't about that. I think that this will pretty much wrap it up for the most part. If I ever do another one later, fine. But again, I don't see it happening. We'll talk about Taoism. There's two types of Taoism. The real kind is going to be a very short conversation. It is very, very mysterious, closed door for lots of good reasons, but there are a million different types, a million different subsects, and a lot of times it's just a very long list of rules of things that you have to follow that are not ethically based um, to help you attain something that you're trying to attain. Whether it be enlightenment or merging with oneness or superpowers. I don't know. It's not really any. It's not one of my concerns. These are just all the claims, but they are like serious sets of rules. I've only heard things about the rules and the abilities and skills and enlightenments and what it takes. It's really crazy, guys. Like, yeah, it's really wild stuff. You'd have to encounter somebody who has like a family member in it who's willing to talk about it. I was told about the more in-depth stuff from, if you're familiar with the Hmong Chinese, Hmong. I had a nice discussion with somebody who was raised by a folk religion or Mikos religion Hmong family. He doesn't even practice, but his parents did, and it's pretty wild stuff. So that's Taoism in a nutshell. I mean, there's all kinds of like books that'll get you there, and people say if you do Tai Chi, you're doing Taoism. No, if you're not in one of those subsects watching this, and if you are, you're like, like those guys are funny. They carry lots of Chi and Yang Chi, and they're very good at maintaining theirs and taking yours. If you encounter one, you might not even know it, and if you do know it, you'll probably regret it. Beyond that, a lot of times Taoism is just following your instincts and feelings to guide yourself through this existence, or letting this existence guide you. Technically, everybody's a Taoist. Technically, you could say that because I followed the ways, I felt it, but I was also following Yeshua. Yeshua says, or Jesus says, I am the way, the light, the truth. So that led me to Taoism to some extent. And so you're obviously, if you're following Christianity, it's Tao. But anyway, I see a lot of modern Taoism, people using their feelings and validations and ignorance to power their ability to control others and get to enlightenment or accomplish things they want. And no matter what religion you're in these days, from my perception and studies and debates, as you see, I used to get into tons of debates. I still do. I'm trying to wrap it up. I'm going to just send people to these videos in series so they can argue with a video. 99.9% of people are Taoist. Maybe more than that. That 9 could go all the way down. Because a lot of people use their religion. The reason I made these videos and like things like the Christian Contemplation series, because a lot of people just use their religion to validate their bad behavior, their choices, and they never actually get into the books or the religion itself. You're just using a sage's work so that you can hurt people or maintain your own. People think you're supposed to be happy your whole life. There's a chemical in your blood called dopamine, is what you experience as happy, and if you abuse it, you're gonna get bad things. Even if you're not talking to a spiritual lover, man, you can't abuse the chemicals in your body. It's not healthy, no matter whether you're Western or Eastern minded. So that's what a lot of people do with their religions these days. So so you're not even practicing the religion you think you're practicing. To tell people, look at something. I'll go through a couple of them because I did some of these. Like, look at I've had a lot of debates with people that say they're Buddhist, and when you tell them what Buddhism first is, just studying the awakened state, they're not studying the awakened state. They're doing like a series of rituals that somebody did. It's either making them feel good or they're following somebody who's reputable. And hell, I trained under this guy. Like, I got in a debate with somebody once, and he's telling me, I trained under this famous Tibetan guru, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, you attained realization or enlightenment? Oh, no, I was just sharing that. I was just telling you. You're an attainment snob. Like, you're a Buddhist, dude. You're supposed to be focusing on attaining. And he was really just attacking me. He was like an ex police officer, so he's probably not used to not having control and didn't like that very much. Um, Born again Christianity is probably one of the worst Taoist religions. You know, you're using a sage's life to not take responsibility for your actions, and you know, luck's not going to help you. So me saying good luck isn't going to help you. I mean, that's I know it kind of makes you want to laugh, but it's not funny. Like, you know, you are headed down a dark path. Go watch the Christianity Religious Antithesis series. Go watch the Christian Contemplation series. That's actually in that. Go look at my Christian Contemplation series and realize that you know absolutely nothing about Christianity based on even like the first 5 to 10 verses in the Bible that you say you believe in. Okay, I think that's enough of that rant. Um, even certain people in I see people in America engage in Islam who just do it for shock value. They just want to upset you, get your doubt, get you all shook up. Yeah, man, you're just practicing Taoism. You know, I don't care how much scripture you memorized. Your whole goal and angle in life is to upset people. And guys, I'm not saying Islam is a Taoist religion. Like, I've met some of the strongest religious men I've ever met in my life are Muslims, and I mean, I really had some awesome guides to bounce off of when I was going through my religious studies. And you meet other religious men of faith and people of faith when you're going through these things. Um, so there's that. I mean, I'm not knocking anybody. I've met, like I said, I met that Hmong guy. He was a very strong, you know, he was a byproduct of a Taoist family, but he wasn't Taoist. Very strong, intelligent man. My Muslim's friend, very strong, intelligent man. All the people I train with now are very strong, intelligent men. Guys, I'm not saying anything about. I've never met a lot of. I've never met a lot of women who really engage religion. Nah, I mean, like for whatever reason, I've never actually really thought about it before. They have their own form of Taoism. We'll say it like that. But no, I really haven't. I mean, I actually just got into a debate with some religious woman challenged me on something religiously of their own faith, and it came at me with all kinds of fire and brimstone. And at the end of the conversation, she just goes, "I'm not really religious. I was born into this, but I don't know anything about it. You know more about it than I do. Pretty much she felt she was like apologizing in so many words, and I was like, don't apologize. Come with me." And that's what you should be doing in your religion. You know, you should be diving deep and bringing others with you. That's what the whole series is about. I am not here to shake up or disturb. I'm trying to bring you with me. You know, this is what somebody who studies these things and makes progress in these paths is supposed to do. I'm supposed to be bringing as many to liberation as I can. If this tears a wound, then I'll try to help you heal it. Just don't come at me all crazy, and I'll be more than happy to try to send you down a path. Heck, I'd even, if somebody really asked my help, I'd probably help you, like, call around whatever religion you're part of. I'd probably call around establishments and try to help you find one if it was really that serious to you and you were that worried and concerned. Because you may wake up outside your body tomorrow and it might not have a heartbeat no more. And then what are you going to do then? You may pass through a bunch of realities that don't make sense and not even know that you died because, just like in a dream state, you think you're alive and you're not, and you're just bouncing, you know, space to space to space to space. None of it's making sense, but you're engaging it because you didn't take time while you were here to understand or learn anything. You just decided that you were going to use some sage's work to benefit yourself emotionally. A lot of religions turn people into emotional terrorists, and that's why, like, I mean, I respect Taoists who follow those sets of rules more than I do anybody who follows their heart to emotionally terrorize people. And that's what you see a lot of people, like, just love going up to people and being like, "You're gonna burn in hell." Like, dude, hell is an understatement to the things that can actually happen to you when you die. You better hope that you're in something as identifiable as fire for something as identifiable as eternity. There are infinite options of things that can happen to you, none of which will probably make sense. You'll probably be too confused to even make heads of tails if you're even conscious and not just completely blacked out from the spiritual pressure and experiences that you can't process. All right, so guys, this is probably going to wrap up. Like I said, the Religious Antithesis series, this covers 99.9% of all humans on the planet right now. Otherwise, go through the other ones and try to know your religion, try to know your faith. If you want to believe you're worm food, believe you're worm food. That's none of my business. Nihilist, you're just as religious as anybody else. You use your belief that you're worm food to, validate hurting people and doing whatever you want. You're still a Taoist, whether you like it or not. I'm worm food. No, you're a Taoist, bro. And a bad one too, right? So what I'm talking about, guys, I'm not shaming Taoists. The ones who follow the rules are awesome. They follow all kinds of rules. They're doing what they're supposed to. They study their religion in depth. They're doing what they're told that they will guide them somewhere, and they have studied it and practiced to a T. The people doing this lazy follow the way, follow your instincts, that's just lazy Taoism. That's stupid Taoism. It's crappy Taoism. You know, I mean, I have to say it because you are following the way, but it's your way. But you see it as the way, and you're guiding yourself through what you see as a path. So that's why I'm calling it Taoism. And if you ever study like the Tao Te Ching, all that means is like unseen, manifested essence. It's actually unseen and seen essence. All right. So Tao is like Holy Ghost. Day is all physical existence manifested. Jing is essence. So you know, God's physical essence, whatever you want to call it, God is physical, universe physical essence. I don't really care what you call it, but that's really what we're talking about. You know, I Ching is just the book of changes. You're supposed to understand it and use it to either have faith in the choices presented to you in front of you by the all that is. You can use it for divination. I will say this about Taoism and divination. I'm not against divination. I just think it's stupid because I used to have a lot of prophetic dreams, and if you know what's going to happen, you're going to mess it up. And to be honest, man, it makes some of those hits so much worse because you see some of them coming and you can't get out of the way. Like there's nothing you can do. And there's a saying, what is in Kung Fu? You will often encounter the fate you are trying to avoid by trying to avoid it. And that is so, so real. Like, I'm getting like goosebumps, like frighteningly real and terrifying. So I hope this helps you guys on your journey. You know, don't be one of the 99.9%, be one of the 0.1% that actually goes into things and makes it to liberation and gets out of here, or at least has some chance in the intermediate state when your consciousness goes inward, outward, wherever you think it's going to go, wherever it's going to go. But I'll tell you this right now, when you die, you're going to go where you go, become what you become, and I hope it works out for you. I really do. I'm not even kidding there, man. I really do. I hope that whatever you've done, you've prepared, and I hope that you are ready. You know, I hope if you wake up outside your body tomorrow, you're ready. You know, I had a dream this morning where I woke up and watching my body getting poured from a, thing into like the back of a truck, and I watched my body tumble into the back of a truck, and it was not good, man. Even as prepared as I was actually debating somebody. So that's why I'm wrapping this up. I don't want to waste my life watching my body get poured in the back of a truck while I'm debating with you guys on, YouTube and Facebook. So this is the end of the series. You know, I might debate a little bit, but it's not going to be like in the past. I mean, I don't even know if I have too much studying and training to do right now to debate with people. So there's a good chance I'm going to look at the debates and people getting weird and just be like, I don't have time for this. Turn it off. You know, I might just take YouTube out of my phone. Who knows what I'm going to do? Because I'm at that point that you should be at the beginning of like a 41-year journey or a 10-year journey, or I'm actually in like the middle of like the end of like a 9-year specific journey, but in depth, it's only been like 4 years of like diving hard. So, all right, I hope this helps. This will probably be it, but if not, you'll see me a bit later after I study and read some more books. But I got like a lot of training and studying to do right now. So thanks for stopping by. I hope it was informative. If it wasn't informative, I hope it was entertaining. And thank you for stopping by the Broken Buddha. Peace and blessings.